Hello everyone. In this tutorial we are going to be looking at creating different lighting mode for our exterior with various sun and sky. So we are going to be creating daylight, we are going to be creating golden hour, we are going to be creating overcast, and also we are going to be creating blue hour. So let's go. Yeah, the first thing is we will create the sun. Let me position the camera the place it's supposed to be. So we are going to choose sun from the V-Ray toolbar. We're going to place the sun, then we'll automatically create the sky. So there's a sky in there already, so we'll replace it. So we have the sun, and the next thing we are going to do is to open the frame buffer and press interactive rendering. So now you are going to see that this is more or less like a night rendering. There's no light there, but it's the daylight we want to create. What I'm going to do is I'm going to select the sun and press W on the keyboard, which is for move, and I'm going to drag it up. The higher your sun is, the much more brighter the image will look. So let's drag it up very well. So this is where we are, and I think I'm beginning to like the way it looks, but maybe we should try and position it much more better. So I guess the sun target, possibly I'll move it a little bit to somewhere here, and then so the sun is too high because you can see the way it's looking in the scene. So the best thing is to find a balance like this. Also, I personally don't like to, not really bad, but you can see the image is dark and a lot of materials issue here and there. So in order not to be stressing over material, so I prefer to override the material. So by coming here, if I press down, you'll see lighting. If I choose lighting, you are going to see that material is no longer the issue, so we can actually do interactive rendering on time. So now also, instead of using this, I can actually stop the interactive rendering and go to render setup. The reason I want to do that is I have more option. If I go to render setup under global switches and I choose material override, the same thing is going to give me, but I have much option here because I can click on settings and exclude reflection and refraction. So of course I can exclude bump and all those things as well. So that's one of the advantage of using this over the one in the frame buffer. But the one in the frame buffer is very, very good because it does not require any setting. You can just press click and you are okay to go. So now I'm going to put a material here to override all the other materials. So I'm going to go to V-Ray and choose V-Ray MTL. So that's just all about that. So if I start interactive rendering again, it's going to override all the materials, but leave the reflections and refractions So you can see, and everything is looking good. I think that maybe I can add exposure a little bit so that the image will not be too dark. At least we could see that already in the materials before I override. So I can select the camera, come to the camera here and set the shutter speed to 100. So you are going to see the image is exposed. So another way I can do it if I don't want to use the camera is to come to the frame buffer and choose exposure, which is actually what I normally use. Just drag the slider to the right, you have much more exposure. If you don't want, you can drag the slider to the left if you don't want too much exposure. So in this case, I'm going to put exposure into 1. The problem is some areas are now overexposed. You can see all these areas are overexposed. So what I'm going to do is I will show clip warning. So clip warning is going to show me, okay, all these are overexposed, and I'm going to the red area are overexposed, the blue area are underexposed. So I'm just going to leave the underexposed and drag the overexposure down a little like this. I don't need to do too much. I don't need to have complete to have complete image that is not overexposed, because it's still going to make sense. Even if before I do that, let me put this back on 0. I can go here and choose filmic tone map, and you can see that filmic tone map take it from red to yellow. So it's still overexposed, but not as overexposed as it's supposed to be. So this filmic tone map is actually, really helping. So I'm not going to do anything on the filmic tone map now. I'll come back to exposure and drag the overexposure down a little like that and deselect this. It's looking a little bit weird, so I'll still push this a little, and on this I'm going to actually still bump up the white points. So this is looking good, and you don't need to do more than this. One of the things you need to note about daylighting is your your sun angle is very, very important. The positioning of your sun is very, very important, because it's going to determine the depth of your image. Look at the shadows that are casted here. It shows the progression of these steps, and you can look all around here. It's really giving that depth. That's depth. If I go to the front of the building, let's say like this, of course I'm still going to have something nice, but you can see that of course this one is really good, but look around here, look at this. There's almost no difference, even though this one is cantilevered. But if we don't have this around here, you will not know that there is difference, a great difference. You can see, you will not know at all that there's a great difference there. Now if I undo, you'll see the difference now, because now we have this one a little bit shaded, this one is recessed in. So very, very important. How you place your sun is going to really determine a lot. Now we are moving on to another mode. So maybe I should wait for this. There's no need for that. So now let's move to another mode. The mode is golden now, and it's very, very simple to create. All you need to do is to drag the sun down. The more you go, you can see that we are having that gold, warm light around there, all those orange lights. But the positioning also is very, very important, because this is not making sense really. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move the sunlight to another side, and you can see now we have that goldy our image. Very, very light. So very, very interesting. And I'm going to just continue to work on it. One of the things that I used to tell people is, oh, you are the one in charge, so you should actually find a way to make sure that everything looks the way you want. So you can see I'm trying to move this sun to actually hit these steps here. I'm deliberately doing this so that the step actually is going to have that special effect. And also I still think that maybe if I reduce the height of the sun a little bit, I still think that should be better. And for every scenario that you create with your light, you might actually want to complement it with exposure. So in this case, maybe I will use 1.5 for the exposure so that it's not going to be too dark. And another thing I did here is when I was creating it, before in another file, I think what I did was to use artificial light too. So I'm going to enable some of those lights. So if you want to understand how I created artificial light, I've already recorded everything in the previous tutorial, so you can check it out in the upper right corner here. So what I did was I put this light, and it's going to change the dynamics. Look at everything now, and if I enable this artificial light, you'll see how it's going to actually affect the image here. And of course, it's looking a little bit too bright, so you can actually reduce it to maybe 200 or 100 so that it will not override the main light. So it's one of those things that you can use to complement your light. So we did that. We are going to then move to another type of light now. It is overcast. So for overcast, you are still going to use the same sun. So let's drag it up. So now we have this, and the first thing you need to change is the sky. Under sky parameters, you will change the sky model. Then we are going to choose overcast. You can see you can have overcast with sun, but in this case, I'm going to actually enable cloud. So when you enable the cloud, nothing really changed. So I'm going to change the cloud density to 1. So now we have a lot of cloud, and it's going to override the sun. So it's going to, cloud will block the sun, and now we have overcast. Overcast mostly happen when we want to have rain and all that. Of course, it doesn't have to be during rain time alone. So, but most times the sky is is very, very gloomy because the cloud is dense, maybe with water or something like that. So this is it. It is too warm. If it's too warm, you can actually choose to add white balance to it. For the white balance, the temperature, if it is increased, the image will be warm. If it is decreased, it will be cooler. So you can find a balance around it, and it's cool. Of course, the overcast can be how do I want to put it now? It can be warm as well, but in this case, I just want it to be a little bit cool. I can actually reduce the sun density maybe to like 0.8. Sorry, the cloud density to like 0.8 as well, so that I will not have a dense cloud. And I can set the Ceres amount to like maybe 0.7. So Ceres is that upper layer of the cloud. So this is excuse me, this is overcast, and you can see it's very, very easy to achieve. You don't have to stress to do that. So let's do evening rendering. For the evening rendering, we are going to go back to to sky model and change it to PGR sky. And you can see this is no longer the way the overcast will look. And all we need to do now is to select material editor, and go to rendering, go to environment, drag the V-Ray sky into the material editor, close the environment tab, and now enable specify sun look. Immediately you did that, you can see what we have. Very, very nice and cool. All we need to do then is to reduce the intensity multiplier. So I'll put it to like 0.3, and you can see how dark it is. So the sun is still having its effect around here, so maybe we should just disable the sun. So while we disable the sun, you can see that we have total control, blue hour, and we can choose to actually give it the exposure value in 2, and the white balance, if I enable it, you can see is warm, so it's blue around here. I can make it much more bluer, of course, then can add it with artificial lighting. So like I said, I've recorded a complete tutorial about artificial lighting before, so you can check in the previous lesson. Of course, at the end of this video, you are going to see suggestion for it as well. Just putting on all those lights one by one. The one in the interior, you can see the way it looks. We have this at the corner over there. See what it adds to the image. So we have these ones in the compound, so look at it. It's really adding its whole effect. So let's use 500 for it, and really cool. We have this other one that I created to light this area, because the material of this floor is very the interlocking material is very dark. So after the rendering, I discovered that it's not coming out very well, so I used this light to actually brighten that area up, and this is the result. So you did that with just very sun. You can do anything you want to do. There's no need for HDRI. You go in and you get what you want to get. So that's one of the advantage of V-Ray sun and sky. So I hope it's been very useful and interesting for you. Please like and comment. It helps a lot, and subscribe as well. Also in the comment section, let me know which tutorial you want me to record next. Thank you.